Hey guys, so I did something a little bit different for this video. I played a 15-minute game in the ICC 15-minute pool. I am about 2000, my opponent's about 1700, and I was the white pieces. So what I did was I recorded while I played it, but now I'll go through it 4 times speed so you don't have to sit through the whole 20-something minute game. So we'll do 4 times speed. That's 2 times. This is 4. So I was white. I played the King's Indian attack against this Caro Kann defense, where I bring my knight to d2 and my other knight to f3, and I'm going to fianchetto the bishop on the king side, except if he plays bishop g4, and then he gets so much pressure early with queen d7 maybe, that I usually choose to do something else. Like e5 here puts his knight in a kind of awkward position. It has to retreat, and then I put a question to his bishop. And usually I might fianchetto here or defend the e5 pawn first and then fianchetto with d4. But I decided to just go all out aggression with e6, trying to mess up his pawn structure and maybe attack the light squares a little bit, go after his light squared bishop, and try to hit e6 and f7. So if he played bishop f7 here, I probably would have just taken the bishop, and that way his king couldn't castle. But instead he pushed the pawn, and knight e6 doesn't actually win anything, so I want to prepare it with bringing my other pieces into the battle. So I brought my knight on d2 to f3 on this move, and I thought that that would do a couple things. It opens up my dark squared bishop. The knight might come to the side of the board on h4, and then his light squared bishop would get taken. And also knight to f3 just attacks the center. So those are some of the things I was thinking about. Queen c7, he's guarding his e5 pawn. Knight f3 also made his knight stuck at d7 to guard the pawn. So I bring my queen to e2, hitting that pawn again. He develops a knight. And now I thought it would be a good idea to castle pretty soon. I thought castling would be good because it's just I want to get my king safe. Now his castling queenside is really bad because it just loses the exchange. So there was no real reason for him to do that. He could have slowly gotten less stuck in his position, but instead he decided to lose the exchange, and now his king's still stuck in the center, so it wasn't a huge benefit. Now, there was a danger to me castling, and that was that he gets somewhat of an attack against my king, with what we're seeing right now. With queen h2 check, my king just slides over to f1, and there's no real way for him to break through here. His minor pieces are all really uncoordinated, with his bishop on g6 guarding that e4 pawn, but the knights need to hop in like they're doing, but it's just a little slow. I pick off his pawns, and his queen would love to come to h1, but my bishop on g2 is super solid. So he opens up his bishop, but that also opens up his king, and I probably have a better move than bishop g5 check here, but I settled on bishop g5 to connect my rooks and get my bishop in the attack. Now knight g3 cuts off his queen from guarding his knight, and it unleashes my battery of my queen and rook on his knight. So I thought that made a lot of sense. So I believe I just bring my knight back to g3 here. It's a little bit like I'm moving the knight out of the attack, but I think the pluses outweigh the minuses. It also unleashes my bishop that's sitting here on g2. That's probably my best piece, because it's guarding h1 and it's attacking his king. So it's doing a lot. Obviously my queen's like a better piece technically, but the bishop on g2 is super important in a lot of these King's Indian type of positions. So he attacks my bishop, and I come back to check him now. So I really think I probably had a better move than bishop g5, but, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. He defends, and he's losing that e6 pawn, which is actually pretty important, because now, like, his bishop was hit, and now, by moving his bishop, he allows queen e7 check, which picks up the knight. So he isn't doing the most he could be to defending, but he's trying to do something. Like bishop d3 check would be alright for him here. So I just play rook e3 to defend the check. And I think he chooses to go into it anyway, which is losing 6 points for 5, which isn't very good for him. And also, when you're behind, points-wise, you don't really want to trade your pieces off, because it makes it easier for the person who's ahead to win. So he probably shouldn't be trading, seeing as he's down a knight and bishop and pawn. Or no, just a knight and bishop. Queen d4 check guards the g4 pawn, and also gets my queen in the center. It hits g7. So I think knight f5 is really good, because it's hitting his queen and g7 and threatening queen d6 check. I play knight g7 here, with the idea being knight e6 check would fork his king and queen, and also create a discovered attack on his rook. Really hard for him to defend here, so he throws in a desperation check. I just slide my king over. And he has no more checks that are safe. So now I can just play knight e6 check, and his king has to go back to c8 or b8, and this is just losing for him. It's leading to checkmate, actually. So he resigns here, and that was that 15-minute game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.